So we were discussing squint. हमने फोरियाज और प्रोटियाज डिस्कस कर लिए. We've discussed comet and squint. If you remember the three main questions which we discussed at the very start of this session, those three questions were: is the squint manifest or not? Is it latent or not? That was the first question. The second question was: is the squint equal in all directions of gaze? So if it was equal, the deviation was constant in all directions of gaze, we called it as a comitant squint. And if it were not constant, we called it a non-comitant squint, which is a topic for our discussion today. Going one step more, squint latent or comitant visual axis, तो obvious बात है इसमें करेंगे. Also discussed where the lesion can be in comitant squint and in non-comitant squint, right? हमने discuss किया था. So we'll rediscuss this. We'll start from here and we'll discuss the symptoms of non-comitant squint. Why those symptoms occur? फिर एक तो थोड़ी सी conceptual चीजें और discuss करेंगे. Then we will discuss our case for today. I'm hoping कि एक case आज हो जाएगा और एक दो cases next time कर लेंगे ताकि in 2 days we can. So non-comitant squint. Where can the lesion be in non-comitant squint? चलो उसको पहले थोड़ा सा advanced question हो गया. What are the different types of non-comitant squint? That is my first question to you. Does anyone know the different types of non-comitant squint? चलो इसको भी हम थोड़ा सा देख लेते हैं. So when we discuss non-comitant squint, we discuss that the direction, the palsy is greater in one direction of gaze और बाकियों में नहीं है. So these are the normalized, the normal relation, both are looking straight forward. And when we say that the direction of gaze is comitant, it means that both the eyes, they are working equally. They have a mutual coordination in all directions of gaze. This is comitant. Even if one eye is deviated, if this relative relationship, जो आपस में इनका अभी ताल्लुक है, if it is maintained in all directions of gaze, maintained in all directions of gaze, then this squint is also comitant. So what is non-comitant squint? Let's say that I ask this patient, जिसकी आंखें मैंने draw की, to look towards his right. This is the patient's right. So when I ask him to look towards his right, his left eye can do so. However, his right eye cannot. And when I ask this patient to look towards the left, both of his eyes can look towards the left. In left case, his relation is normal. However, when I ask him to look towards his right, in the right-sided gaze, the relationship is abnormal. Okay, that it means that the relationship between the eyes is not constant in all directions of gaze. This is non-comitant deviation, non-comitant eye movements, non-comitant squint. So we can obviously that something is preventing the right eye from moving towards the right. When I ask this patient to look towards his right, जब मैं उसे कह रहा हूँ कि अपनी right side पे देखो, तो something is preventing him. We have to know what that prevention, what is that thing? What is preventing this patient from looking towards the right? What can be the reasons according to you? Anyone, कोई बोल दे. What can be the reasons why this patient is unable to look towards his right? No answers. ये आवाज तो आ रही होगी. There are 8 people here. कोई भी नहीं बोलेगा. अच्छा, you can even type it out. Muscle paralysis. Muscle paralysis is one of the causes. If the person is unable to look towards his right side, it means that there can be a paralysis of the muscle, which is forcing the patient to, which acts to help the patient to look towards his right. So one of the causes can be a muscle paralysis. Paralysis. What can be another cause? That's good. Muscle paralysis is a cause. And अगर muscle paralysis cause होता है, तो we call that a paralytic squint. It's one of the types, and one of the types or one of the causes के हिसाब से हमने types बना दी ना, so it's one of the types of squint. That is good. So muscle paralysis or paralytic squint can be a cause of the failure of this person to look towards his right. What else can be the cause? Nerve palsy. Nerve palsy can be a cause. So we have now found. चलो हम इसको थोड़ी सी हमें और differentiation पता लगी. So in the first option we discussed that there is something wrong with the muscle. The second is we discussed there is something wrong with the nerve palsy or paralysis. So that is also paralytic squint. That is true. क्योंकि देखो nerve में मसला होगा तो muscle का paralysis होगा ना. That is correct. So there can be a myopathy. So there can be a myopathy such as myasthenia gravis. That is also correct. What else? और क्या हो सकता है? What else can be the cause? अगर मैं कहूँ कि उसकी लेफ्ट साइड मसल इसका कौन से काम नहीं कर रहा, if this patient has a right is able to look towards his right, then his right lateral rectus is not working. तो हमने lateral rectus के disorders हमने हमें बताया कि it's the right lateral rectus. तो they can either be a paralysis of the right rectus maximum, मतलब जो sixth nerve है उसका paralysis है, it can be paralytic squint. There can be myasthenia gravis affecting that. What if I say कि एंटागनिस्ट मसल राइट साइड पे लैटरल रेक्टस का काम करना है, इसके एंटागनिस्ट की ओवर एक्टिविटी हो रही है किसी तरह, ठीक है? इज दैट पॉसिबल? क्या हो सकता है ऐसे? ये हो सकता है कि नहीं? चलो लेट्स राइट दैट डाउन. सो there can be एक दो ऑप्शंस आए हैं चैट बॉक्स में, I'll write them down. So one is that there is a local restriction in movement. For example, a local restriction in movement can be present with orbital cellulitis. अगर कोई orbital tumor वहाँ पे पड़ा हुआ है, और any mass in general which is causing a local restriction, वो भी हो सकता है. Let's say the antagonist is overworking. कोई बात तो समझ आ रही है ना कि what do I mean that antagonist is overworking? जो medial rectus है वो बहुत ज्यादा काम कर रहा है, उसका खिंचाव इतना ज्यादा है कि lateral rectus काम ही नहीं कर पा रहा. That is why this can also happen. That is correct. Then we have another cause which is not in this patient. इस example में नहीं आ रही, but upper motor neuron lesions can also be a cause. If you look closely at these 6 examples of these 6 causes we've written down, you can see these are problems in the efferent pathway. सेंटर है उससे जो भी मसला आ रहा है बाहर तक, these all causes they relate to them. थोड़ा सा इसको हम ऑर्गेनाइज करें तो सबसे पहले we can have a problem with the upper motor neuron. It can be an upper motor neuron lesion. Then we can have a problem with the motor nucleus. Then we can have a problem with the nerve. For example, 6th nerve. We can have a nerve palsy. Nucleus से मसला नहीं है, nerve जो बाहर निकली उससे मसला है. Then nerve ने innervate कर दिया muscle को. अब muscle में कोई मसला हो सकता है, muscle problem हम इसको कह लेते हैं. चलो मसल में प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो there is something over there which is causing or which is restricting the movement. So we can call it a localized restriction. और अगर इसमें भी कुछ नहीं है तो उसका जो opposite muscle है, it's working too hard. The antagonist is working too hard. Okay? So the first 3, these upper 3, they fall in the category of paralytic squint, which we have a paralysis, or paralysis आपको पता है, it's due to a nerve problem. The second 2, muscle problem, for example, muscle contracture है, myasthenia gravis है, localized restriction in the form of operant cellulitis or a tumor, these two, they fall in the category of restrictive squint. And the last, in which one muscle is working so hard due to any reason, it's constantly contracting, and that is why the eyes are deviating. This is called a kinetic. This must be clear to you all. Okay? Make sure that this is clear to you. What is an upper motor neuron? मतलब कौन से nerve paralytic में fall करते हैं, कौन से restrictive में fall करते हैं, और कौन से kinetic में fall करते हैं. So now that we know the different causes, how can we differentiate them on clinical examination? Upper motor neuron lesion होगी, तो clinical features में कैसे difference आएगा? How can we differentiate a paralytic squint from a restrictive squint? So these are some questions which we will try to answer as we move along. And if you know, anyone knows the answer and they're willing to speak out right now, that would be great. वरना हम इसको बाद में देखेंगे. So now we know the different causes and the different types of non-competent squint. Let us proceed to the symptoms. If a patient has these symptoms, what do you think he will present with? क्या मसला होगा? What are the symptoms or the clinical features in general? With the patient, yes, the patient can have diplopia. Diplopia हमने पहले कभी as a symptom discuss किया है? Have we discussed diplopia as a symptom? Was diplopia, let me answer, put it this way. Was diplopia a symptom of comitant squint? Was diplopia a symptom of pholias or tropias? Okay.
ट्रोपिया में होता है ना डिप्लोपिया?
ट्रोपिया में डिप्लोपिया हमने नहीं डिस्कस किया था, if you remember. Okay. So if you remember when we discussed diplopia or we discussed esotropia हमने discuss किया था in our 4-year-old child, we did not say that he came with diplopia. Although we did discuss that patient has diplopia at the start, but a child cannot present with diplopia. तो इसमें थोड़ा सा काउंटर क्वेश्चन आ जाता है कि that case was of a child, a 4-year-old child. हमने कहा कि बच्चा डिप्लोपिया प्रेजेंट नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि बच्चे को पता ही नहीं है, he does not have enough sense to present with diplopia. वो तो रोएगा, थाड़े मारेगा and all that stuff, right? So what तो बड़ों में क्या होगा? In people who know what diplopia is, who know what double vision is, who are capable of that, उनमें अगर comitant squint होता है तो उनमें डिप्लोपिया होगा कि नहीं होगा? That is my question. डिप्लोपिया, तो ये इस पे आपने थोड़ा सा सोचना है, एक बड़ा सा क्वेश्चन मार्क मैंने लगा दिया. We'll discuss this. So the first symptom and one of the important symptoms of patient with non-comitant squint will be diplopia. Diplopia हर डायरेक्शन में होगा, हर केस की डायरेक्शन में होगा. We saw this patient who was unable to look towards right, but when I told him to look to see central, बिल्कुल सीधा देखे, तो his eyes were central and they showed no deviation. So will this person have diplopia in his primary position of gaze?
No, जब वो सिर्फ पहला ही साइड पे देखेगा तब होगा.
तब होगा, right? So diplopia will be most prominent in which direction? That is my second question. Paralyzed eyes पे देखेगा? Yes, it is most prominent in the direction of action of paralyzed muscle. जो मसल काम नहीं कर रहा, जब हम पेशेंट को कहेंगे कि आप उस तरफ देखें, या जिसकी रिस्ट्रिक्शन है डायरेक्शन ऑफ केस, हम पेशेंट को कहेंगे उस तरफ देखेंगे, he will have diplopia the most in that direction. This is very important. It makes sense if you think about it. इसमें हम और भी अभी गौर करते हैं. So one of the symptoms or one of the key features of non-comitant squint is diplopia. What else can be the symptoms of such a patient? और क्या हो सकता है इस पेशेंट को?
Change in head posture.
Change in head posture. Now that is very good. Change in head posture. Change in head posture क्यों होगा? You know why a person who has non-committant squint, they will change their head posture?
It is to compensate the diplopia.
Compensate the diplopia. That is correct. Correct. Let's make sense of this. चलो, अभी हम देखते हैं. This person, he has normal gaze in primary direction. Primary gaze normal. When I tell him to look towards the right, his right side, his left side does look towards the right side. His left side does look towards the right side, but his right eye is unable to. इसकी वजह से diplopia होगा. Now, if this person, he wants to look towards his right side, तो ये तो हम जब eye movements कह रहे हैं, we have fixed his head, ना? But if he wants to look towards his right side, what do you think he will do?
He will try to shift his head in that position.
ठीक है, he will shift his head, he will move his head, वो अपना सर हिलाएगा. अब जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है चेंज इन हेड पोजीशन, हमें पता होना चाहिए कि चेंज इन हेड पोजीशन किस डायरेक्शन है. अब मैं आपको बताता हूँ, टेल मी इफ इट मेक्स सेंस. सो दिस पर्सन इज अनएबल टू लुक टुवर्ड्स हिज राइट. व्हाट ही विल डू, ही विल मूव हिज हेड टुवर्ड्स राइट. वो दाएं देखेगा, ही विल लुक टुवर्ड्स द राइट. व्हाट विल हैपन, जब वो राइट देखेगा तो जो ऑब्जेक्ट इनिशियली उसके राइट साइड पे था, फॉर एग्जांपल वो ऑब्जेक्ट स्टार्ट में राइट साइड पे था ना, that object will now be present more centrally. वो ऑब्जेक्ट सेंटर की तरफ आ जाएगा जो पहले राइट साइड पे था, because he has moved his head towards that side. जब ऐसे होगा तो his left eye which was focusing on that object, it will move centrally. जब वो सेंटर की तरफ आ जाएगी तो we saw that उसमें सेंटर की तरफ देखने में तो मसला नहीं हो रहा था. Both the eyes, they will be towards a more normal relation, a central position, and a direction of gaze in which they have a harmonious relationship with each other. So this person had a head tilt in the direction of action of the paralyzed muscle. क्या आपको ये बात समझ आई है? Have you understood this? Okay, so the change in head posture, that is correct. The person will move head in direction of action of the paralyzed muscle. We will see this, some इसके examples देखेंगे, but this is in general what happens. अगर आपको right side पे कोई चीज नजर नहीं आ रही तो आप अपना दाईं तरफ सर खुद भी मोड़ेंगे, तो अगर आप कोई एक्सट्रीम चीज फोकस कर रहे हो आपकी सेंट्रल विजन में आ जाएगी. तो आपका हेड टिल्ट बेसिकली उस डायरेक्शन में हो रहा है जिस तरफ आप देख नहीं पा रहे. And in a case of non-committant squint, it is in the direction of action of the paralyzed muscle. What else can this patient present with? आपने बता दिया कि he says I will have diplopia. आप गौर करेंगे, उसके अटेंडेंट गौर करेंगे कि इनका सर की पोजीशन थोड़ी फर्क है. नॉर्मली हम जब बात कहते हैं बिल्कुल सीधा देख बात करते हैं, बंदे का सर टेढ़ा हो सकता है. दैट्स करेक्ट. व्हाट एल्स कैन बी द प्रेजेंटिंग सिम्पटम्स? और क्या हो सकता है? Headache. Now that is good. When he has diplopia and he is unable to make out a single vision, उसका दिमाग खराब होगा. He will have a headache. ठीक है, headache, discomfort, anything of the sort. हेडेक है, डिस्कम्फर्ट है, और क्या हो सकता है इसके साथ? दिस पेशेंट हैज डबल विजन. उसको समझ नहीं आ रहा, उसकी ओरिएंटेशन नहीं सही बन पा रही.
वर्टिगो.
ही कैन हैव वर्टिगो. चक्कर आ रहे होंगे. चक्कर आ रहे हैं तो साथ साथ आपको पता है कि नोजिया भी होता है. अगर नोजिया होता है, बहुत ज्यादा हो, लोग प्रोन हो, तो वॉमिटिंग भी हो सकती है साथ. These are the symptoms, some of the symptoms with which the patient can present. There are a few other as well. वो हम आके जाके थोड़ा सा देखेंगे. लेकिन keep these in mind. कुछ और भी होते हैं वो हम आगे जाके डिस्कस कर लेंगे. So I think this is enough for a starter. You have a good concept now. We still have a few questions unanswered. We will answer them by the end, or we will try to. There are also a few concepts which I would like to discuss, but let's move on to our first case of the day. So, you are evaluating this child for a squint. Keep this in mind, and the history is very brief. It's very brief. A 15-year-old patient presents to us with a headache and doubling of vision. Only two important symptoms: headache and diplopia. आपको और कुछ नहीं पता. उसकी अम्मा उसको ले आई हैं आपके पास, and she wants you to find out what is wrong with her child. How will you find out what is wrong with her child? What will you do?
Visual acuity.
Visual acuity. Visual acuity is very important. You have to perform a visual acuity. Visual acuity will tell us a lot about the patient. And as I perform visual acuity is good. It's 6/6 in both eyes. What else would you like to perform from this child?
Eye movements.
Extraocular movements, eye muscles, and all that stuff. You're right. We will perform the extraocular movements. Extraocular movements, they will tell us a lot. So this child, we performed extraocular movements on this child. This is what we saw. His gaze was in the other directions. His gaze was normal, but when we checked his gaze in horizontal direction, this is what we found. In the slide A, the person is looking straight ahead. We asked them to look straight ahead. In B, we asked them to look towards the right. In C, we asked them to look towards the left. So I don't want a diagnosis. I just want you to tell me what is wrong.
वो dextroversion नहीं कर पा रहा.
This person, अच्छा dextroversion है मसला है.
Right squint.
Right squint. So you both have
right
said
lateral rectus muscle.
Right lateral rectus muscle. ठीक है. So keep those ideas coming. It's good. दो तीन बातें हुई हैं. एक बंदे ने कहा right squint. Someone said dextroversion नहीं कर पा रहा. Let me address that first. अच्छा. So in the first in image A, we're seeing that the patient is looking straight ahead. There's no problem, or we are not able to appreciate any problem right now on extraocular movements. हो सकता है हो, but we're not able to appreciate that. In D, when we ask the patient to look towards the right eye थोड़ा सा right पे देख रही है, but it's relatively less compared to the left eye. Left eye बिल्कुल left पे आप देख रहे हैं कि it's looking towards the right, the left eye. However, the right eye does not have the same amount of movement. ठीक है, we appreciate that in B. Coming to C, when you ask the person to look towards the left, it's relatively normal. We cannot still appreciate anything in C. So grossly, ऊपर से हमने जब extraocular movements perform की, तो we are seeing that something is wrong when the patient is looking towards the right side. अगर यहाँ पे dextroversion में मसला होता, तो dextroversion का मतलब है कि right-sided conjugate gaze, meaning both the eyes. However, the patient's left eye is looking normally. It's looking towards the right side. ठीक है, उसमें मसला नहीं है. उसमें मतलब उतना अगर मसला है तो उतना नहीं है जितना बी में है. उसकी मूवमेंट बी की राइट आई से ज्यादा है लेफ्ट आई की. This is not a paralysis of dextroversion because one eye is looking towards there. So it means that there is something wrong individually with the right eye. And as the right eye is unable to look, it's looks the right side पे नहीं सिर्फ देख पा रही, so there is something localized which is wrong. So on extraocular movements, हमें सिर्फ इतना पता लगा है अभी कि right eye is unable to abduct. Have you understood this point which I have written down? Abduction का मतलब होता है move towards the outside. So the right eye is unable to move towards the right side. Okay? Or in simple terms, problem with right-sided gaze. Okay, उस case में issue आ रहा है. However, it's not a problem with dextroversion. I will make this clear, and if I don't, please ask me to do. ताकि आपको clarify करा दूँ. So in extraocular movements, you find out that the right eye is unable to abduct, और जब एक आंख इस तरह horizontally मसला आ रहा है, so you for definitely, for sure, know that eye movements are non-comitant, because the relationship between them, whether normal or abnormal, is not present in all directions of gaze. The relationship is different when the patient is asked to look towards the right compared to primary gaze or leave aversion. So what else would you like to perform in this patient?
Cover and uncover test.
Yes, you would want to perform a cover and uncover test. Okay, now I'm going to write something down. थोड़ी सी इसकी sense नहीं बनेगी अभी. You won't understand it right away. This is a very core concept. On cover and cover test, you find out that the secondary deviation is greater than the primary deviation in extroversion. This is a very strange statement. ये अभी आपके सर के ऊपर से गुजरेगी. नहीं गुजरती तो it's excellent. गुजर जाती है तो don't worry about it. We will discuss this. It's a very important concept, but it will take थोड़ा सा time लगेगा, and want to finish the case before we discuss this. Question marks, we will discuss this at the end. So we performed a cover and cover test. So these are some of the tests which we usually perform. आपने देखा था कि along with a Hirschberg's test, these are the tests which we routinely perform when we are evaluating a patient for squint. Visual acuity is good. It's 6/6. Extraocular movements में right side पे कोई मसला आ रहा है. Cover and cover test में हम कह रहे हैं कि secondary deviation is greater than primary in dextroversion, and Hirschberg's test is centralized in primary position of case कोई obvious manifest squint नहीं है. We've discovered a lot of findings. हमें पता है कि his vision is good. That is why he's having diplopia. We found out that something is wrong with the right eye. We can assume that it's a lateral rectus palsy. लेकिन कुछ भी हो सकता है. Lateral rectus palsy भी हो सकती है. Medial rectus overact भी कर रहा है. मतलब it can be anything. We don't know for sure right now, but all we know is that something is wrong with the right eye. What other examination or investigation would you like to perform in this patient? Okay, we're looking for a greater cause. We're looking for a bigger cause. We want to eliminate some causes which can lead to right eye dysfunction. Okay, so we will also perform
visual acuity के बाद ophthalmoscopic examination नहीं किया.
Ophthalmoscopic examination हमने नहीं किया ना. That's very good. That's excellent. We will perform a complete ophthalmoscopic examination. बिल्कुल आपकी बात ठीक है. Okay, so we will perform an ophthalmoscopic examination. It's very important. आपको भी याद हो तो ophthalmoscopic examination and fundoscopy हमने उसमें भी की थी tropias की discussion में. So when you perform an ophthalmoscopic examination and a fundoscopy, the rest is unremarkable. मैं पहले से लिख रहा हूँ, but what is remarkable is that you see papilledema. Papilledema मैं दिखाने नहीं चाह रहा यहाँ पे because it will take a lot of time. उसकी discussion शुरू हो जाएगी. We discuss that in optic nerve. बाद में भी retina भी discuss कर लेंगे. But you see papilledema in both eyes. Why is this significant? What does this tell us?
Raised intracranial pressure.
Raised intracranial pressure. Now, if I were to say that papilledema was only present in one eye, what would that tell us?
Okay, a localized cause.
Yes, there could have been a localized cause. ठीक है, if there was only papillary edema in one eye, so there was something which was causing raised intraocular pressure in raised ICP for one eye only. तो orbit में tumor हो सकता था, orbit nerve canal में tumor हो सकता था, but this is something which is affecting both the eyes, so it must be present inside the cranial cavity. You find papillary edema in both the eyes. What else would you like to do in this patient? Is when another option that we can perform a prism bar test. I will write this down. फिर हम इसको discuss भी कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, but a prism bar test is not performed usually in squint. There is no indication of performing it, but still we will discuss this. और आप क्या perform करना चाहेंगे इस patient में? What else would you like to do? How would you work up?
अब इंट्राक्रैनियल प्रेशर रेज आया तो हम इसका सीटी एमआरआई कराएंगे.
ठीक है, तो CT and MRI are good investigations. ठीक है, you would like to perform a CT and an MRI. CT और MRI के लिए आपने उनको टाइम लिख के दे दिया. ठीक है, CT MRI करा लेंगे. In the meantime, would you like to perform any other examination or investigation? Result आपको थोड़ा सा लेट पता लगेगा CT और अच्छा, चलो मुझे बताओ कि why did we do prism bar test in phorias and prism bar versions test in tropias? हम prisms को use करते रहे हैं phorias और tropias में, albeit for different reasons. But what was the main cause or the rationale of using these tests?
Angle of deviation or fusional reserve.
Angle deviation.
Yes, and fusional reserve in phorias and angle of deviation in tropias. So in our patient, in tropias and in phorias, both of them, the squint is comitant, meaning that the abnormal relationship is constant in all directions of gaze. Okay? In non-comitant squint, the abnormal relationship is present in some directions of gaze, not all. In our case, the abnormal relationship or the abnormality is present when the patient is asked to look towards the right. हमें अगर अंदाजा भी हो जाए, even if we use a prism bar test, उसमें extra ocular movements की हमने बात की थी कि हम output को change कर रहे हैं. Is there any use of trying to find out the angle of deviation in this case? हमें पता है कि आउटपुट में कहीं मसला है, मसल्स की करेक्शन भी हम कर लें, एंगल ऑफ डेविएशन देखने का हमें क्या फायदा होगा? इट्स अनलाइकली दैट वी विल फाइंड एनी गुड यूज अगर हमें कोई कॉम्पिटेंसी मिल नहीं रही उसके लिए. व्हाट एल्स कैन वी डू? उसके अलावा इसकी बजाय हम क्या कर सकते हैं? वी कैन क्वांटिफाई द डिप्लोपिया और वी कैन ट्राई टू मेजर द डिप्लोपिया. तो आई विल एंड दिस सेशन नाउ एंड आई विल बी बैक विद द लिंक. My question to you is, how can we measure diplopia or how can we quantify the diplopia? Is there any objective way that the patient said कि मुझे diplopia हो रहा है, so can you measure or try to measure that diplopia? Okay, think on this and I will be back in 1 minute.